This is B-side here at Musikmesse 2011. I'm going to show you here what's going on at the Stanton booth. We got a hot new product that we've kept under the wraps, and now it's time to lift the curtain, as they say. This is the SCS.4DJ. It is a very unique piece of equipment because it is a controller for DJing, yet it has everything the DJ needs built into the hardware. In other words, I've got the software already integrated into the hardware, so I don't have to carry around a $1,000 laptop. All I need is this one piece of equipment. I have a USB, thumb drive, or a hard drive, or a smartphone, or a smart device. I can actually plug that in at one of the 4 ports, and I also have another USB port that I can actually connect a keyboard to, so I can do search and alphanumeric typing. So it has USB A and B ports. And actually the cool thing is one of those ports is actually underneath. So I can hide my phone or hard drive and securely transport it from one place to another. Now, we've got a few basic unique features on this controller that you don't find aside from the integrated software. The EQ has a complete kill. Complete kill, the master volume is all the way up. And I'm killing everything with the EQ, which is something you usually don't find at this price point. You have the ability to adjust the faders, the crossfader, the line faders. You have the ability to go in and adjust the pitch range and all of the typical standard things that you find in your software. You have all of that, but now it's all integrated. I can scratch without any drift. Without any lag. I can high-speed search and scroll through. I have my standard cue play, sync, and then the BPM tap. Up here I have a looping that I can do full loop, 1 bar, 2 bar, half, whatever. You can adjust the default of that loop in the software. I've got some really cool BPM effects, filter, flanger. I've got something really cool and unique called slice. Slice is kind of like taking a loop roll and randomizing glitching with the loop roll. So slice is a really cool feature. And when you jump out of it, it's always in perfect time. So sometimes it glitches, sometimes it goes in reverse, sometimes it'll jump in between the loop itself. So think of it as kind of like slicing up the beat while you have the loop roll. And of course I have the standard delay. Now all of those cool effects are actually running off of this one little computer that's already built into the hardware, and it's running on a very stable Linux operating system, so you don't have to worry about the system crashing or failing. All you do is plug your hard drive or your thumb drive in, let it analyze those songs, and you're good to go. You set your first cue point to basically even out the grid of that BPM for that track. And the cool thing is it has something very unique that's called Smart Sync, where normally when you have tracks that have a BPM and you're trying to synchronize one track to the other, with certain types of music like dubstep or trip hop or drum and bass, you wind up with a half beat time on one song and then the full beat time on another song. Usually when you try to sync those numerically in most software, the software will automatically slam the BPM of one track all the way up and the other one all the way down to try to get it to match numerically. The cool thing about SmartSync is you won't ever train wreck when you're trying to synchronize something, because everything that you would normally have to worry about is already thought of and done for you. So it's a very, very simple, basic system for beginners, entry-level DJs, but it's professional enough for pros to actually take out to a gig and use either in the studio or at home or even on the plane. So I'm going to show you what I mean by the SmartSync. really cool thing about having the computer integrated into the hardware is you don't have to worry about bringing your laptop, but you still get all of those cool, typical features and functions that you have normally in your common software, and some extras. We've got the full multicolored visible waveform in one view. In my home screen, I can hit another home screen and get the artwork, the entire full wave, the color coding of that track, as well as a 1/4 beat count measure. So I have two different home screens to actually view and do my mixing. I can browse and search or sort very easily by any of the columns that I normally find in my software. I can even go into my playlist of what I'm currently playing, or the playlist that I've loaded from either iTunes or loaded in from Windows Media Player or whatever other software you use to manage. Load those M3U or playlists in, and you have access to it. As long as the music's on the same drive, you're good to go. And I also have a system screen where I can go in and adjust the audio settings, the platter settings, the crossfader settings, the overall settings of the unit, and search for or eject certain hard drives or thumb drives, and even change how the entire unit operates, because it is still a MIDI controller. Every knob and button is sending MIDI messaging. So if I want to use it as a standalone MIDI controller with other software, it's pretty easy to go in and do. So like I say, this is the SCS.4DJ. It is definitely for DJs. If you want to use the software that we provide for you in it, which is highly recommended, you got it all there. You don't need to bring a laptop. But if you are more familiar with your own program and you want to use Tractor or Virtual DJ or Mix, you have the ability to actually plug this in and go ahead and do your MIDI mapping yourself. Every knob, button, fader, everything on here is sending MIDI messages, and it's not any more difficult than any other controller at that point. It's up to you to choose the software that you want to use, but know that we've already provided the software for you, and at this price point, there's really nothing else out there like this that'll beat it. SCS.4DJ. Got to give a shout out to Mix, and we got to give a shout out to Scratchworks. This is B-side from Stanton booth, Musikmesse 2011.